Hello people of the internet and beyond, the Son of Nero here, and this is a list that has admittedly been done before. Unfortunately, I can't think of any more than 8 Zelda games I've played that I actually beat, so this list contains all of them from the worst, in my opinion, to the greatest, in my opinion. In other words, don't get mad if you don't see a link to the past, which you won't. I haven't played it. So with all that said, let's get our game on. Phantom Hourglass. I'll be honest, I only beat it once and it wasn't as memorable as its prequel, Wind Waker. The mechanics of the game are centered on the touch screen. Want to use an item? Touch the screen. Want to attack it with your sword? Touch the screen. Want to walk? Touch the frickin' screen! This was the second Zelda game I ever experienced, and I was glad I experienced another game in the series beforehand. This one was all... No. I'm done. You know what that kid says?
I like trains.
So yeah, Spirit Tracks. I have to say, this game was more on the hate side of the spectrum than others, but I love it all the same. I grew up with Thomas the Tank Engine, so putting one of my favorite gaming characters in a train had something nostalgic for me. Okay, what am I saying? What I should be saying is, I gave the game a chance because I wasn't afraid of Zelda making progress into the modern world.
Tactical nuke incoming!
Not again. Now that that's out of your system, let's go on to the reasons I like this game. There was a huge commercial hype for me when it came out, and I had to get this game. So when I got this game for my birthday that year, I was disappointed, but only in the story. I knew that the playstyle would mimic that of its predecessor, Phantom Hourglass. Now, it's higher on the list because I actually finished it multiple times, and the story was, in my opinion, superior. Taking place a decade or so after Phantom Hourglass, the Link you play as is an engineering apprentice who has to bring Hyrule back together to stop the Demon King Malladus and retrieve Zelda's body in the process. Four Swords Adventures was the sequel to Four Sword, and honestly, I think that giving the game a single-player mode was what made it better. In this game, Zelda and the maidens, who you rescued in the previous game, call you to the Four Sword Chamber to check the seal on Vati, the Wind Mage, and if necessary, stop him. Before you do, you are interrupted by yourself. It's been done before, but it works. From that point on, you have to search Hyrule for the missing maidens, take on powerful monsters, and that shadowy figure of you to confront the big baddie. Ganon. Freaking Ganon! He didn't just hijack Twilight Princess, he started here. This game is far from linear. You have to switch up your formation based on your environment. Sometimes it depends on experience, and there are actual levels, making this game a little bit more like a beat 'em up. Wind Waker started the cel shading style trilogy and wait. Rock? There's no music playing during this segment. Why? It wasn't scripted. What do you mean? I see that. You're right. What was that song I was playing in a... Yeah, play that one. I don't care, just do it. Now that's more like it. Wind Waker started the cel shading trilogy, and I have to commend it for that. I also have to say, it was the most childish one I played, even with a story as dark as kidnapping girls. I do not, repeat, do not hate the game or think it being kiddie would be a bad thing. I can't think of anything else to say. This game is just outstanding. Okay, this is gonna cause controversy. Mostly because it was only made number 4 and it's thought of as the best in the franchise. Or at least second best, but anyway, Ocarina of Time. What's that? You're going to flame me?
I've got the Master Sword. I can block your flames.
Back to the game. It's only number 4 because I think it's highly overrated. But as YouTubers have said since Fawful's Minion, overrated games aren't always terrible. Hey, I put Ocarina of Time in my top 5, didn't I? But meh. It's kind of the story you hear a lot. A kid tries to fulfill his destiny by claiming a treasure before a madman, unintentionally giving the madman the treasure. Flash forward 7 years, and he learns that his destiny is not one of evil prevention, but one of countrywide liberation. The gameplay is a bit of a button masher. I mean, when you look at my 3DS, you will notice that my buttons are a little cracked. Also, I'm putting the 3DS version on this list because its graphics were a little more advanced. Another thing, this game is easily able to have 575 terrible jokes made at its expense. I'm looking at you, really freaking clever!
I'm not sure you can call this nostalgia.
Twilight Princess is the darkest game in the series, and my first exposure to the Zelda franchise. I can remember it now. I was 12 when my family first got our Wii. For this system, I got Sonic and the Secret Rings, big mistake, and my then 9-year-old sister got Twilight Princess. What was she thinking? In about a year, we got past the first part.
It's a slow beginning.
And then I saw how terribly dark the story was. It nearly scared the living crap out of me when I met Lanairu. But that's a story for another time. I played a bit of this game and fell in love with it, not knowing until later why it was rated T. And the biggest point that sets it here, nostalgia. This is the game that introduced me to the franchise. So yeah, Twilight Princess. A link between worlds, ladies and gentlemen. Where do I even begin with this? I hear the beginning's a good place to start, so let's go there. A Link Between Worlds takes place in the same Hyrule as A Link to the Past, and a new dark version of Hyrule called Lorule.
All of my cringe!
In this game, you have to travel across both worlds to save the descendants of 7 sages and claim the Triforce of Courage. Originality? We haven't gotten there yet. You get a bracelet from a new friend named Ravio, which for some reason lets you travel across walls of a painting. I'm not going to spoil anything because it's the latest in the franchise that I'm actually able to play, so yeah. The gameplay is very similar to previous installments on the 3DS. Just smash the button that'll get you the win. But you also have to take into account the bracelet's ability for the final fight. I can't say any more than that. It's just a great game! First game in the franchise!
No! I meant continuously.
Yeah, you don't like it, I bet, but I actually like Skyward Sword. In fact, the only legitimate complaint I have with the game is the fact that Fi seems to know she's a computer program, and that's no good for any character, especially helpers. But I did like Fi's company. Now, onto the good Skyward Sword did. Basically, think of it as the Zelda equivalent of Crisis Core. It tells you how everything wrong with Hyrule, everything that happened in the franchise started. So, that's good. Link here was definitely trying to save the world, but not without his own reasons. In this game, Zelda's incarnation is one you actually care about. And that's just what Link does. Also, you have dialogue boxes that make Link feel less silent and more you. When the game ended, I almost cried because Fi served her purpose, but I was losing a friend.
It's got real cheesy real fast.
The dungeons were very creative. Prime example being the Ancient Cistern with its boss Coloctos. Bosses? I just named one, but the best in my opinion is Girahim from the Skyview Temple, the Fire Sanctuary, and the Ancient Grounds. The worst would be the Imprisoned, who you fight just as often as Girahim. Honestly, my friends and I all agree that we see no reason behind all the hate this game gets. Really, none. Every single problem is justifiable except Fi, and I still like her as a character.
I'm the Son of Nero, and I want to leave you so I can play Hyrule Warriors.